How did you find me here waiting for you? Across the multiverse we collide. It's extraterrestrial, our love. Across the multiverse, you and I.
Backboneverse, welcome back to Journey Through the Arrowverse. I'm Logan Keithie. I'm here tonight with my usual co-host, my dead shot to my John Diggle, Keithie Langston. How are you doing tonight?
That's the least acceptable, you know. I mean,
yeah, you're just a murderer.
I'm gonna pull down my shirt and expose Logan Keithie on my neck.
Oh God!
There's a spot saved
for you.
No, it'll say, I'll pull it down and it'll say Scott Shiflett, and then it'll be like, there's a spot right here for you, Logan. And then I pull it down a little further and it says Matt Souza, and then I keep pulling it down, Sean Kidd, and then I expose the entire backbone. Tim Slomka's on my arm.
Oh my God! Not Slomcat. Can't do that to the Slomcat.
No.
Oh man. But yeah, we are here for episode number 13 of the podcast, where we'll be discussing the penultimate couple of episodes.
Oh, penultimate.
Before our big finale, couple episodes on the next one. But we will be covering 20 and 21 episodes 20 and 21 of the first season. We will be covering episode 20, Home Invasion, first. It aired originally on April 24th, 2013. And the second episode we'll be talking about tonight is episode 21, The Undertaking. So,
The Undertaker.
The Undertaking is what I said.
Oh.
How dare you? But we'll kick it off with episode 20. Like I said, Home Invasion is the name of it. Diggle's mission for this episode is to take down Deadshot. He's kind of been doing this as his own little side mission for a while, but I'm pretty sure at the end of our last episode, Oliver was like, "I'm all in with you. Let's get this done." So they are targeting Deadshot in this episode. But to kind of start the episode, Deadshot is apparently taking out his current target in Europe across the sea, somewhere over there. Oliver, though, assures Diggle that he will help him take down Deadshot, but obviously it's hard when he's in another continent. Thanks to Felicity, she is tracking Argus's movements of him, and after some comments that she said, talks about being kind of what she's doing is technically cyber terrorism a little bit and not wanting to go to Guantanamo Bay. We find out that Deadshot is coming back to Starling City to accept a new assignment. It is bait by Argus, pretty much. The new assignment is fake, set up by Argus, and the agent that Diggle is friends with, Lila, that we met in a previous episode, is kind of the one that is setting up. And Deadshot has apparently accepted the job and will be here in the coming days. Meanwhile, Oliver kind of announces to Diggle and Felicity that he is having lunch with Laurel. Both are kind of surprised that he's having lunch with his ex, that is also currently dating his now ex-best friend. So definitely digging into some murky waters there for Oliver. But we have our first island flashback. Oliver is holding his picture of Laurel and walks in on Slade and Shadow planning their attack on Fires. Shadow suggests that Oliver provide cover as Slade and Shadow attack. Shadow wants to use bow and arrows for Oliver. That's what she wants him to kind of use to cover them. And then Oliver and Slade believe that he cannot do it, but Shadow promises that Oliver will hit his target by sundown. Mm-hmm. And if not, they will do it Slade's way. So what did you think of this first island flashback and kind of the overall mission of the episode kind of being headed towards Deadshot, as well as Oliver having his lunch, having the plans of his lunch date with Laurel.
Yes. I thought first thing that came to my mind when he announces he's having lunch and Felicity and Diggle are like, "Ew," like you're getting back together with the ex. No, I liked the flashback sequence was kind of it starts off kind of cool. Where Shadow is like, "Don't worry, we'll get him in tip-top shape," much to the chagrin because I don't think that anybody thinks that I don't think Slade thinks that Oliver is going to be in tip-top shape or whatever. I don't think Oliver thinks he's going to be in
I'm not putting my life on the line for pretty boy.
That's right. So, I think that we got that going on. We got that going for us, which is real nice. But good opening sequence here with obviously the Deadshot taking out the German chancellor or whoever it was. I like how you said across the street. Across the sea. I thought you were going to say across the pond. But
that's probably what I meant to say, but my brain kind of short circuited there for a second.
I like across the sea though. Across the sea, somewhere waiting for me. So but
it was across the water, kid.
It's fucking across the pond, kid, on the other side of the world. So good stuff. Good stuff opening up the show. Yeah. And I like that I like that Oliver was like, I'm all in with Diggle, and Diggle just being like, we need to end him. We need to end this. So
we need to end him now.
Mm-hmm.
I like that as well. But we go to Argus headquarters, and Diggle checks in with Lila on their Deadshot investigation. He seems a little overly excited about it. Lila has figured out that Diggle is using her for his revenge scheme against Deadshot for killing his brother. Lila warns Diggle to stay away from her case, or it's going to end badly for him as well. We then go to CNRI. Oliver arrives for his lunch date with Laurel, but Laurel has to cancel. They talk about how Tommy has gone to work for his father, but are interrupted by Laurel's clients, a family who are against a businessman that has stolen their life savings named Edward Rasmus. I believe the family is called like the Moores or something like that. Let me double check their names real quick. Eric and Nancy Moore, and they have their son Taylor with them as well. But she has to cancel because she's swamped with this case, trying to defend this family from having their entire life savings, all kinds of retirement accounts kind of taken from them by this businessman.
Real Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. The family then lets in a man named Mr. Blank, who claims to have paperwork from Laurel. He shoots the husband dead, and then eventually finds the wife and shoots her as well. But Taylor, the son, escapes. This happens at their house. Rasmus then calls to see if the job is done. He tells them that the parents are dead, but the child escaped. But he will make sure that loose end is tied before anything worse happens, I guess, as I should say. We then go to the Queen Mansion. Oliver sees a news report of the family that he met at CNRI and learns that the parents have died and that the son survived. We then go to the precinct. Laurel is angry over the fact that Rasmus was behind the deaths of her clients. Her father warns her to stay away from Rasmus, though, obviously being a rich businessman. He obviously has criminal connections, obviously, with Mr. Blank doing what he did earlier in the episode. Taylor is about to be taken away by social services until his grandparents arrive. But Laurel decides to take him in until that time, and she'll live with her and Tommy for the time being. Detective Lance then puts a protective detail on Laurel and the boy and asks Tommy to look out for them as well. This is when Quentin finds out that Tommy is practically living with Laurel, and Tommy kind of goes, "That probably wasn't the best time to tell you that, was it?" And Quentin said, "There probably wasn't going to be a good time." So I thought that was a pretty good little quip by Quentin. Oliver then arrives and wants to make sure that Laurel is all right. Tommy is not okay with him, Oliver kind of being there. Oliver says he met the family yesterday and he feels bad about it. Tommy wonders when he met them. And Tommy is surprised that he was going to go on a lunch date with her, and he did not know about it. So, what did you think of these few scenes?
I mean, this is, obviously it's funny when the face that Quentin makes when he says that about, I practically stay at her house every night, and he's just like, ugh. You could tell I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
but
he just does that little kind of
Yeah.
face that he does.
Yeah, and I like that. But I mean, it's again, Tommy kind of just playing this role of like just reluctantly wanting to like even be in the same room with Oliver. He gets into it a little bit later on when he kind of talks about like really why he is so kind of against Oliver, which I guess makes sense in the end, but it takes him a while to get there, which is kind of annoying. And but I'm not gonna, obviously I understand like where he's coming from, at least this character is, so I can understand that. But no, I mean, I thought that these scenes here are obviously setting up. This is actually a really good episode.
I thought both of these that we're talking about tonight were very good.
Yes, absolutely. A lot more story board wise kind of in the second episode, but this episode's great. I don't know if you want to talk about, or do you want to save for trivia of who Mr. Blank is? Maybe we'll wait till we get to the trivia part of that, but I like this guy, this actor. There's something.
Yeah, he's very good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's great. I like that. I mean, just stone cold killer, which I like. So, and also the guy that plays Edward Rasmus, we can talk about. So when we get to the trivia portion of this, there's some things I want to say about these two guys. So, but
absolutely, yeah. When I get to now, I'll toss to you.
Yeah, for now, I'll just let you continue on.
You just need to shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. No, you're right. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Moving along.
Stay in your place. I'm just kidding.
I will. I'll stay in my lane. As a phrase we use in work all the time. Stay in your lane. Okay. I'll stay in my lane.
I'm just messing with you, but we go back to the island. Shadow is teaching Oliver how to shoot a bow and arrow, and they have a bit of a moment. They share a little kiss, a little bit,
kissy face. Yeah.
They're having a good time shooting bows and arrows. Oliver is not seemingly learning very well, but Shadow's very patient with him, so we'll see if he eventually gets it.
There's actually, not to interrupt. There's a scene I want to try to get this sound, and it's the sound when she shoots down like the trees, because I don't know if you notice, like when Oliver fires his arrow, it's like real dinky, like me, Yeah. And then and then when she fires the trees, it's very reminiscent of like the way the sound is that we use for our cuts, where it's Oliver's like just super duper arrow sound. But I want to get that. I got to see if I can get that so I can download it to add it to like a drop, because it's really good. But,
yeah, his early bow shots are like real flimsy and
but then he has that like shrink, like that sound, and I love that. And she had that, so
yeah. But we go to the Quiver, and the gang gets details on Argus's takedown of Deadshot, and their plans to arrest him. However, Diggle does not want him arrested but dead. Oliver tells Diggle that they will also be part of Argus's mission if they, end up doing what Diggle wants to do, and if they want to take Diggle or Deadshot off of Diggle's list, his single named list, that they'll be in Argus's kind of crosshairs, and they probably don't want that, but he's going to be behind him no matter what. Oliver also shares with the team about Laurel's clients and wants Felicity to dig into Edward Rasmus to find out who he hired to kill Laurel's clients. He then heads over to Laurel's apartment. At the precinct, Roy visits Detective Lance to talk about the vigilante, and tells how he wants him brought to justice. I believe this may be where he steals his radio. That may be in the second episode. I can't remember, but I think this is where it happens. But
yeah,
that's what I thought. We then go to Laurel's apartment. Laurel tries to reach or kind of get Taylor to kind of open up a little bit. He's been kind of quiet. Wants him to come eat, but Taylor tells Tommy and Laurel how he misses his parents out. Obviously, he's still very in shock and kind of obviously taking a minute to recover from the fact that his parents were just taken from him and his mom was killed right in front of him. So he's probably going to be reliving that moment for the rest of his life. Tommy then shares some of his memories of his mother and the night that she was found dead as well. Tommy tells Taylor how he sees his mother in his dreams and memories and tells Taylor to do the same. Tommy tells Taylor that his parents will always be there with him in his heart and spirit and all that kind of stuff. And Taylor seems pretty touched and it seems to relieve him a little bit. And then you can tell that Laurel gets a little Twitter-pated during this. So we then have a knock at the door, and it is once again Mr. Blank, claiming to be Starling City detective sent by her father. In the peephole, we see Laurel asks him to show the badge, and obviously he is holding a gun, but Laurel asks for the badge, which he does. Laurel looks through the peephole and sees the badge, and she knows based on the fact that her father's a cop, and the guy says I think he says he's a lieutenant. That the number of the badge doesn't start with what a lieutenant's number would start with, so she knows it's a bogus and bullshit badge. He quickly shoots bullets in the door and kicks it in. Tommy and Taylor then hit the ground, with Tommy protecting Taylor with his entire body. He's basically like laying on top of him. Meanwhile, Mr. Blank searches the apartment for them and Laurel, Tommy and Taylor, and starts shooting around at anything he possibly hears. If he hears any kind of creak or anything like that, he just starts shooting around. He approaches them, and then he realizes that the badge gave him away. Laurel tells our intruder how her dad is a cop and taught her a thing or two, and then proceeds to shoot at him with a shotgun. She just has a huge ass
shotgun bang,
fucking shotgun, just so. Obviously she runs out of bullets. Mr. Blank is about to shoot at Laurel, and then the vigilante, the Hood, comes crashing through the apartment window, and the two get into a brief fight. But Mr. Blank escapes. Tommy looks up and sees Oliver, obviously, and then Oliver quickly leaves the scene. So what did you think of the home invasion, which is what this episode is titled for, of Laurel's apartment here?
Oh, this scene was great. I mean, this whole sequence is great up to, the moment that we have the actual home invasion and everything. I mean, Roy being Roy, that's just Roy being Roy again. LVP looking at him. And but no, I mean, this is a great scene here where, first of all, Laurel deducing real quickly that he was not, she's like, he's not a lieutenant badges don't start with 0. And then you start seeing bang bang bang, the gun starts firing in the door, and then they drop. And yeah, Tommy actually was really sweet with the kid, where he goes he tells him the story about his mother and how he goes to sleep, he always sees her, and that I was like, all right, Tommy, he kind of redeems himself a little bit there, which I liked. And then obviously,
a rare great Tommy moment.
Yeah, that's true. He's had a couple, and by a couple I mean a couple. So that's, let's not give too much credit, but we'll give credit where credit's due. But the shootout is great. I mean, Laurel busting open a fucking shotgun was just awesome.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Even though she only had one.
I think she had one bullet. Yeah,
I was like, good job, Laurel. That's not the only thing you taught me. Bang, and then what? Make sure you only have one slug in the gun. But anyway, and then obviously Oliver busting through to save the day is just great. Just total awesome Oliver. And then, just I think at the end there, Tommy kind of just giving the look to Oliver to be like, fuck you, guy, like that kind of look, which I liked. So yeah, but it was good. I thought this was a good scene here.
Yeah, Tommy's like, why are you such a badass and I need you to save me all the time?
Why?
You bastard.
Why, you bastard?
You're so much cooler than I am.
You bastard.
But from there we have the police show up to Laurel's apartment, of course. Laurel tells Detective Lance that Rasmus's hired killer will keep on coming for them, for her and the child until the job is done. obviously the vigilante will not let anything happen to her because obviously he's been there in her times of need in the past. Detective Lance obviously doesn't feel comfortable with that being her mode of protection. Tommy suggests that Oliver can help, considering they have tons of security surrounding them, and he believes Oliver is their best bet in keeping Laurel safe. Obviously, because of the security, but also because he knows that Oliver is obviously fully capable of protecting them if need be.
It reminded me of like in the Dark Knight when like they're trying to figure out where's like the safest place in Gotham, and Rachel tells Bruce, she says go to Bruce's. She's like, go to Bruce's apartment, and he and like Harvey Dent's like, Bruce Wayne, and she's like, it's the safest place in Gotham, I guarantee it. And it's like, and it's funny because she knows that he's Batman, and she's like, trust me, Bruce's place is the safest place. And it just it made me think of that, because it's like he's like, let's go to the Queen Mansion. Really? You want to go to Oliver Queen's house? Trust me, it's the safest location for us right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely the place where you're going to be the absolute safest you could possibly be.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they obviously go on to the Queen Mansion. They have their own part of the Queen's security detail. Diggle kind of goes over that with them, and Laura and Moira obviously welcomes Taylor to her home with open arms and says they have plenty of room, and obviously
let's go find
make themselves at home and all that good stuff. Oliver needs to leave to take care of Deadshot. Tommy seems to take offense to it, but Laurel says Oliver needs to do his own thing and kind of go take care of whatever he needs to take care of. But he, Tommy's pretty pissed that Oliver's leaving pretty quickly, but Oliver promises that everything will be fine. All of the security is more than enough to take care of them. We then go to our favorite place, Big Belly Burger. Thea and Roy are on a date. Thea discovers that Roy has a police radio on him to track the vigilantes' movements. When he hears something, he leaves their date. So he hears something that he likes, and he wants to meet the vigilante or the hood or whatever you want to call Oliver at this point, because obviously he saved his life. Roy then arrives at the scenes from where he heard that they were headed on the police scanner, but it was a trap, and Detective Lance wants his radio back.
He says, I like this radio.
Yeah, Roy's like, you did all of this for a radio? But obviously Roy gets to go down to the station once again, like an absolute dumbass, leading candidate for LVP so far. So we'll see if anybody passes him. We then go to the Quiver. The mission to kill Deadshot is in full swing, but the Rasmus case intrudes. Rasmus is fleeing to Shanghai, and obviously, Oliver wants to take care of that for Laurel and Taylor, but this may be his only opportunity to catch him, despite the fact that it's kind of time to take Deadshot down, and Oliver actually ends up choosing to go after Rasmus and not help Diggle out. We then go to the where the Argus is kind of setting the trap. We see Diggle as Argus agents are on the look for Deadshot, and it seems that Deadshot is a tad bit late. Just when it seems that Deadshot is on the scene, Lila thinks that he didn't take the bait, but Diggle sees Deadshot. He kind of sees the reflection of like his, like laser focus from his gun, obviously. And he starts shooting Argus agents. Lila even gets hit with a bullet. Diggle then starts shooting where Deadshot is at. He kind of, like I said, he found the kind of the targeting laser and stuff like that, and he starts to kind of shoot in that direction. Diggle then runs after Deadshot, but just as it looks like Diggle is about to kill him, Deadshot gets the upper hand and points two guns at him. Deadshot taunts him and shows him the tattoo where his brother's name is and says there is a space right next to it just for him. Deadshot then gives Diggle a swift kick, kind of knocks him out and escapes. We then go back to the quiver. Diggle is obviously getting his wounds kind of stitched up by Felicity, and Diggle is pissed that Oliver did not show up. Oliver obviously caught Rasmus. I think he says he's in prison, and he got him arrested before he skipped town, and obviously I think he admits to what he did and how he screwed the family and how he's done kind of the same thing to a lot of other people as well. But because of Oliver doing that, 4 agents died at the hand of Deadshot. He believed that if Oliver were there, they would have gotten him. Diggle is even more pissed that he chose to go in another direction, and he didn't do it. Diggle doesn't feel like he did it for the kid, but he did it for Laurel, and he always chooses her over everyone else, and says everyone else be damned. Felicity kind of holds her tongue. She doesn't really want to hop in on the argument, but I think she kind of agrees with Diggle a good bit. So what did you think of kind of the failed attempt to catch Deadshot, kind of Roy getting caught up with the cops and all that kind of stuff? But what did you think of these few scenes?
Well, Roy is the LVP. I think that's automatic. I mean, he sucks right now. That's all.
I don't remember hating him as much as I feel like I'm hating him on this rewatch.
Yeah. And I think the thing is I told you, like, I didn't like him anyway because he was in Teen Wolf and he was kind of a douche in Teen Wolf, and he's kind of carried on being a douche in this. So it's like it's really hard for me to like cheer Roy, I guess, but Roy Harper, but whatever it is.
I think he definitely gets better, but he's very whiny, and
he is. He's just he's whiny, and the reason why he steals the friggin' the radio is because he wants to fight with Oliver and all that kind of thing. So it's like, okay, I guess. But anyway, so I mean it is what it is, whatever the case is, and that's fine. But but then obviously we have this sequence with Diggle, like it's funny because Deadshot's like, thanks for giving me the heads up. He's like, I sniffed you guys out a mile ago or whatever. So I don't even know if it would have made a difference if Oliver was there. I feel like it wouldn't have. But obviously Diggle's going to use him as the scapegoat because he was supposed to be there and he wasn't. But I mean, I think a lot more damage could have been done than 4 agents being killed or whatever the case is. But
I think if they had all 3 been in like this stairwell, I think they probably could have taken him down 2-1. But that wouldn't have saved anybody's life. They would have already been dead because it would have been shot already. Because I don't think they really found his like place where he was setting up a gun or anything.
No,
like that,
and I don't know if and the way Diggle's looking around like the mall or whatever, he's looking for Oliver in the area. So like, Deadshot wasn't even in the building because he wasn't taking the bait. So it's like I don't think Oliver would have made much of a difference being there. Yeah. I did, however, for a hot minute think that Oliver was going to show up when Diggle was fighting him in the stairwell. Yeah, that would have been cool if he had done that, but he didn't, so that was fine. And then obviously, we get the confession. Well, no, we're not at the confession scene yet. No.
Yeah, so, I don't think he confesses yet, but
we're not there yet. But so no. But I mean, obviously Diggle chewing out Oliver, saying everything you do. It's funny how earlier he gets chewed out for not staying with Laurel from Tommy, and then he gets chewed out by Diggle for leaving to go deal with the guy. Because of Laura. It's like, this guy can't win for losing.
Everybody hates Oliver, but he's the only reason that half of them are still alive.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but just poor Oliver. He can't win. Win for losing. But we go back to the island. Oliver is still obviously having issues shooting the bow and arrow. Shadow tells him he thinks too much and proceeds to show him how it's done. She simply tells him to listen to the sound of the bowstrings and just let go, to kind of, give into his senses and don't really think about what he's doing. They then share a kiss that I mentioned earlier. I think they just shared like a longing look into each other's eyes earlier. So the kiss here. Kiss now, Oliver pulls away because of Laurel, obviously. Shadow asks, does Laurel know how much he loves her? And then Oliver replies, no, but as soon as he gets back or gets home, she will. We go back to the present. Laurel is looking at a photo of her and Oliver at what looks to be some kind of dance, like a homecoming dance or a prom or something like that. Moira reminisces of her time with Oliver when he comes in to tell of the arrest of Rasmus and how he confessed everything thanks to the vigilante. Now that is over, Tommy wants to get out of the Queen Mansion as soon as possible, but Moira insists that they stay, which Laurel agrees with. Plus, she seems not too happy with Tommy's behavior at this point. We then go to the precinct. Rasmus's lawyer visits him, but obviously it's Mr. Blank instead. Rasmus is trying to call off Mr. Blank from killing Taylor, but he can't since the boy has seen his face, and so has Rasmus. After applying slight pressure over his wrist, it creates an embolism that causes a clot that kills Rasmus. Mr. Blank then simply walks out of the station without anything further happening to him. We then have Thea come into the police station looking for Roy and is pissed at him for stealing the police radio. Detective Lance then takes Roy and Thea to see the vigilante's latest kill. He tells the couple that the vigilante has killed 26 people. Kind of, he says that the victim is number 26 because he can't give the name, obviously, I don't think. Roy tries to defend the vigilante by saying his victims probably deserve it and that he saved Roy's life. Detective Lance says that may be very well, but that's not how we get justice around here. So, and then we go back to the Queen Mansion. A storm is brewing outside. Oliver tells Laurel that Taylor is safe now, and they have a bit of a moment themselves about how Oliver has changed since coming back from the island, and they share a brief hug. Tommy is kind of lurking in the background and doesn't seem to be a big fan of this happening. We then go to a package arriving for Laurel with security saying that the person's ID checks out. When the security opens the door, we see that the delivery guy is shaking, and the guards know that this is a setup. But unfortunately for the guards, the delivery guy, because of the delivery guy, Mr. Blank is able to sneak in and shoot both of them. Power then goes out thanks to Mr. Blank. Oliver then senses that this is not something that is supposed to be happening, and it's not because of the storm. He then gets Tommy and Laurel to stay with Taylor, and he goes to, quote unquote, check out the fuse box because the family's mansion is old. He blames it on the oldness of the mansion. He then kicks the doorknob off of their room to make sure that they don't try to get out. We then hear gunshots, and Mr. Blank wants to know where Taylor is, but when a guard is uncooperative, he kills him. Oliver is then walking the halls of the mansion, and Mr. Blank comes across him and shoots and misses him. Laurel then wants to go out because she is concerned that Oliver may be in trouble. Oliver is doing just fine on his own, and Mr. Blank, he and Mr. Blank kind of battle it out in the hallway. Blank wants to know what happened to Oliver on the island, and he tells him he is about to find out. After fighting some more, Oliver is able to kill him with a fire poker by the fireplace, of course. So he just stabs him through the chest with the old fire poker. So what did you think of this little battle between Mr. Blank and Oliver?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a great fight sequence. I mean, it was awesome. I really liked it because it was kind of like close quarters and, just two guys that seemed to be definitely well trained in like hand-to-hand combat, not only with fighting with weaponry, but also just hand-to-hand. I liked it a lot, actually. Yeah, no, this was a great fight. This was a great fight sequence. So.
Yeah, I wasn't, with, the mode of killing that Mr. Blank does is mostly with obviously a gun. He knew the little maneuver to kill Rasmus, I guess, but he held up with the kind of hand-to-hand fight a little bit more than I was kind of expecting him to. But what did you think of Roy seeing the dead bodies and Quentin kind of trying to dissuade him from being looking up to the vigilante? I guess
it's like little too late. Like Roy's enamored with this lifestyle now, and you can tell like he wants to be a vigilante as well. So I think that that's just unfortunately where we're going. Is I don't think there's any way. There's no coming back from like this whole
No, definitely
theory. Huh?
I said, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, like he's like Oliver. He's like, the vigilante saved my life. I want to definitely be involved with whatever he's doing. And well, this is where he's doing. He's killing people. This is number 26, and you could tell that Roy was just like, okay, well, let's see if we can make number 28, 29, and 30 next time I get with him. He's like, I mean, I'll just add to the list. So I don't think Roy doesn't have a lot of redeeming qualities anyway. And I think that had been already firmly established that he was, kind of like at least criminal adjacent, so to speak. So I don't think he was all that swayed by what Quinton was trying to tell him,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Roy's definitely all bought in. Yeah, I was he didn't care if he has to kill, because he knows that the vigilante's not just doing it for the hell of it, seemingly. So
right, yeah, like he even said, he goes, well, this guy must have deserved it. And Quentin's like, I guess. He goes, yeah, but that's not justice. And it's like, well, yeah, man.
It kind of is, but not really the correct way you're supposed to do it, I guess.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they need to rot in jail for the most part, but it's just not that easy sometimes. But we have the police show up to the scene. Oliver tells Detective Lance that Mr. Blank was going to kill him, but then one of the security guards, Mr. Robbins, jumped in and killed Mr. Blank with the poker, thus saving Oliver, but sacrificing his own life in the process. Tommy calls the guard a hero and substantiates his story pretty much. Tommy then realizes that Oliver still loves Laurel, but Oliver says that it doesn't matter how he feels because of who he is and what he's doing with his life. Laurel probably wouldn't be with him, so Tommy has nothing to worry about. Oliver also says that she can't know his secret, but Tommy says he doesn't. It doesn't matter, and she doesn't know because he does. He knows what he's capable of. He knows who he is, and all that kind of stuff. Because he fears that if Laurel ever found out that Oliver is the vigilante, she would choose him because obviously, as we've talked about in the past, I think Laurel has a tad bit of a she gets some heart palpitations when the head's around. She gets a little jazzed up, if you know what I mean. We then go to Taylor's grandparents arriving to take him, obviously, to live with them. Laurel needs to talk to Tommy, but finds that he has packed his bags. He tells Laurel that he is not ready for this type of commitment that she is looking for, but Laurel doesn't believe that he wants to break up with her at this point. Laurel believes that he is a changed man and wouldn't do this to her, but he coldly tells her that he hasn't changed at all and walks out on her. So pretty sad that relationship has ended, but we kind of saw it coming. And with our next set of episodes that we'll talk about, it might as well have happened now because of what happens in those couple episodes. So we then are with Roy and Thea again. She asks why it is so important for Roy to find the vigilante. He tells her that he can't stop thinking of the night that he saved him. He feels that he owes the vigilante, and that experience opened his eyes to not go back to the way things were before. He feels connected to the vigilante, and Thea says, if it means that much to you, I will help you find the vigilante because he means that much to her. We then go to the Quiver. Oliver and Diggle have to talk about their differences and hopes that they can get back on the same page. However, Diggle basically breaks up the partnership and says, I'm done, I quit, and walks out of the Quiver. We then go back to the island. Slade wants an update on Oliver's training, but before an update can be provided, Yao Fei comes in. Him and Shadow have a bit of a reunion, but Slade asks how Yao Fei escaped, and Yao Fei says he didn't, and fires men descend on the ruins of the plane that they have been living in. And then Yao Fei walks up to Oliver and simply tells him that his time on the island has come to an end. So we'll see what that kind of has, for it going forward. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. Obviously, Yao Fei seemingly turns on them. And then obviously Laurel and Tommy breaking up are kind of the big parts of the end of this episode. So what did you think of the end here to wrap things up?
I mean, I think that Tommy, at least Tommy gives, kind of the explanation to Oliver, which I was saying earlier about, like, I can't lie. You're asking me to lie, and I can't lie to her. And because eventually when she finds out, she's going to choose you anyway. And it's just going to lead to, like, her being pissed at him for keeping this under wraps the whole time. So I can kind of at least understand where he's coming from, and I can respect it in that sense. But yeah, it's more of just Tommy being Tommy, him leaving, and kind of just breaking Laurel's heart. It almost, it seems like, so yeah, just kind of like, but I guess he also knows that there's so Oliver still loves her. She's gonna fall back in love with Oliver as soon as she finds out that he's the Hood, and he's done anyway. So why not get out while I can? And I guess I can respect him for that. So
yeah, don't get deeper into it and have your heart broken anyways. Just get out now, and
exactly,
you're fighting a losing battle because it's gonna, it's gonna blow up on him eventually or whatever. So
right.
But yeah, that'll wrap up the episode. So you had some trivia that you wanted to kind of lay out. So,
do you want to do trivia first, or do we want to do the rating?
Go ahead and rate it. What would you rate it?
I mean, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5. I thought this was really good. Yeah. I really liked it. I thought the action sequences were really good. And yeah, I kind of liked it a lot. I thought it was a really good episode, solid episode.
I think I may even go a 9. I thought it was really strong.
Oh, okay.
So not quite perfect, but I thought the bad guy was good in this one. Or at least Mr. Bland. He's not technically the head bad guy, but he's he's the main fight that Oliver has in the episode. So but yeah, I thought he was a really good, and a lot of stuff happened, a lot of storylines kind of developed and stuff like that. So I think it was a really strong episode, and I would give it that for sure.
Cool. All right, so we get some trivia. I mean, my big thing I wanted to bring up was the two guest stars was Al Sapienza, who plays Edward Rasmus. Do you know what he is from, Logan? Does he look familiar at all?
I'd have to look at him again. I can't exactly remember what he looked like. But I am looking at at one of the trivia notes on what I have pulled up. So I know he appears in the Flash later on. So that's not where a lot of people would know him from. He was in The Sopranos. He played Mikey Palmisi in the first season, who was basically Junior's consigliere, so his consigliere, his second in command to Junior Soprano, and a lot of people would recognize him from The Sopranos. He also had some spots in a few episodes of House of Cards. Cards, kid, fucking Cards. And then Suits, he had a few appearances in Suits. Oh, yeah, I think I recognize
I think people that are Suits fans, I was not a big Suits fan. Were you a big Suits fan?
Oh, yeah, love it. Absolutely.
Did you really?
Yeah, I really do. Well, it's one of the few shows that my wife and I have actually watched together. So
that's okay. I mean, hey, listen, people like people like shit. So I mean, I knew him right away. As soon as I saw him, I was like, that's fucking Mikey Palmisi. So, I recognized him from the show that I was obsessed with growing up. So,
well, apparently he plays Joe West's partner in the first episode of The Flash. So we'll see that down the line. So we'll see him again.
We'll see him again as a totally different human being.
Yeah. Well, it is a multiverse, kid. So
it is a multiverse. So. And then the other thing that the other big actor in this is J. August Richards, who is the man.
What an awesome name!
It is, and he is the man that plays Mr. Blank. And do you recognize him from anything, Logan?
I feel like I recognize him, but I can't place him.
All right. Well, so he was in 12 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was the Marvel show that was on ABC. and he played a character named Mike Peterson, who then ends up becoming the Marvel hero / villain. I think he was both, but Deathlock. So we had Deadshot, and then we also had Deathlock. But he was actually really cool in that show when he was on, and I really liked him. I thought he was pretty awesome actually.
Gotcha.
When he was in that, when he was in those few episodes of Agents of Shield. He also was in the show Angel. If anybody big Buffy / Angel fans, he played Charles Gunn on Angel for 91 episodes, so that was a pretty significant role for him as well.
Is that Billy's brother?
I believe so. He was the one that was not in the tag team.
He didn't get a rodeo scholarship.
No, he did not. He was an actor. He had to go and work.
If Matt Souza listen to this, he's gonna snipe me from a distance.
Is he really?
So, oh yeah, he'll hate that I made that wrestling joke in the middle of a non-wrestling podcast.
Okay, but no. So he's pretty good. He's great in that, and he was great as Mr. Blank actually in this. So
yeah, fantastic bad guy for this episode for sure.
That's all I had really for the two things I wanted for trivia. I wanted to mention those two guys because I saw them and it kind of popped me when I saw them. I was like, oh, because I knew who they were. So yeah. But go ahead, I'll get to you now.
Yeah. I like I said, the thing about Mr. Sapienza, he's obviously in a future episode of The Flash that we'll see eventually. The name Edward Rasmus is a possible reference to the Renaissance humanist and Dutch philosopher Erasmus. That's something to think about. When Roy and Thea discuss searching for the vigilante, a question mark can be seen on the stairs, and that is a nod to the Batman villain, the Riddler. Obviously, the title, title refers to Mr. Blank invading Laurel's apartment and the Queen Mansion in an effort to kill Taylor. At one point, when Detective Lance is talking to Thea and Roy, he sarcastically calls them the Wonder Twins. In the comics and a few other types of derived media, the Wonder Twins are teenage superpowered siblings who are part of the DC universe, obviously. Yes. And then when communicating with Argus agents to look for Floyd Lawton, Lila uses her code named Harbinger, which is her superhero name from the comics. And then Diggle is wearing the Starling City Rockets hat that we've talked about in the past. He does that to kind of disguise himself when he's kind of trying to invade the setup for Deadshot. So that's all the only other ones that I had. But yeah, so
just real quick. What is her code name again in Argus?
Harbinger.
Fucking Harbinger kid.
Harbinger of Justice kid.
Fucking Harbinger. She's the Harbinger of Death kid.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
Good. So. All right, so you wanna throw it at me now?
Yes, it's your turn, kid.
It's my time. Alrighty, so we are going to be talking about the episode, as you said. This is episode number 21 of this first season. It came on original air date of May 1st, 2013, and of course, we're talking about going one-on-one with the Undertaker. I mean, this is the episode called...
The episode is titled Booger Red, actually.
Booger Red. The Undertaker, kid. So it's the Undertaking. And the synopsis quickly, it says, finding it difficult to mend fences with Tommy and Diggle, Oliver instead focuses on crossing another name off the list. While digging through a crooked accountant's laptop, Felicity discovers a transaction that can help Oliver find Walter. Remember him? To reconfirm the lead, Oliver gambles that Felicity can be counted on in the field for the first time. In a flashback, Malcolm reveals to Robert Queen and Frank Chen painful details surrounding his wife's murder and how that shaped his plans for the Glades. Meanwhile, Tommy stuns Laurel with the truth. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, no.
Not the truth, and then there's the truth. Anyway, Oliver tracks down an accountant, Harold Backman, from the list and steals his laptop in order to redistribute all of his money back to the people he stole from. While decrypting the laptop, Felicity uncovers a link to Walter's kidnapping. A $2 million transfer was made to Dominic Alonso, an underground casino owner, that same night. As they plan to confront Alonso, Felicity visits Diggle in an attempt to mend the rift between him and Oliver, but it is unsuccessful. Felicity poses as a card counter and purposefully gets caught so she can plant a bug in Dominic's office. However, Dominic destroys Felicity's communicator, to which she warns he will be upset when he meets her partner. The Hood then breaks into the casino and defeats Dominic's men, saving Felicity. After being beaten and threatened, Dominic claims that Walter was killed as soon as he was delivered to the person who hired him, since Dominic heard a gunshot. Oliver and Felicity are devastated. Oliver informs his family of the tragedy and comforts Thea, while a distressed Moira immediately rushes out. Moira confronts Malcolm at his office over breaking their deal and killing Walter. He reveals that Walter is alive. So, I guess quickly we'll say Oliver, suspicious of his mother's reaction to the news of Walter's death, follows her and listens in, discovers that Tommy's father is heading the secret organization that kidnapped Walter and wants to do something horrible to the Glades. When Felicity returns to the Quiver, Oliver tells her to hack into Malcolm's phone records to ascertain Walter's location. Confused about what's going on, she starts to ask questions, but Oliver just asks her to find Walter. So we'll stop right there. What do you think of these first few sequences here? We have obviously the beginning where Oliver attacks the accountant. We find out about the Dominic Alonso. We have Felicity and her awkward way of getting into and also asking for some stacks of high society for the poker chips when she sits down at the blackjack table. And of course, the confrontation, the good fight sequence here where Oliver kind of destroys the underground casino, breaking into the office. And then, of course, the reveal of not only Walter's fake death, but then Walter's actual life. What do you think of those?
His actual life. Yeah. Obviously, Felicity was very awkward in that scene, like you said, but very hachi-machi at the same time. She would look very, very hot. But yeah, hell of a setup they have there in the underground casino. But they're obviously making bukus of dollars, so it's going pretty well, it seems. But obviously, they seem to learn that Walter has been shot and killed, and that's all that this Mr. Alonso knows. And then Moira's pretty quick to snuff out that, like, oh, that's not how this shit was supposed to go, and immediately goes and hollers at Malcolm for a little bit. But Oliver, being the sneaky bastard that he is, has was he actually there, or did he have like one of those arrows that has like the comms on it or something?
So he has the arrow, but he shoots the arrow onto the outside of Malcolm's building. But I feel like he's not that far away. Like he's just on like the next building. True. I mean, he's not gonna obviously be able to. He's not reading lips, but I mean, he's listening in. But he is like not that far away. It looked like he was on a quick just a hop, skip, and a jump literally over to the next building, and he was there. But he's listening in on one of his trick arrows. Yeah.
He clearly wants to believe the best in his mother, but he's quickly finding out her bullshit throughout the season as it goes. So, but yeah, obviously he kind of really learns that Malcolm is kind of the head of this organization that has taken Walter and is a big part of the whatever's going on with the Glades. So, yeah.
And we also have some interesting, like, where we see, it's pretty good where he goes into, like, he picks up the phone. Malcolm picks up the phone. He says, turn the camera on. And then, like, that's where we just see Walter just chilling and just kind of chilling there and everything. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. It's funny that you and I had talked about offline, like, the two reviews that we have are kind of not that detailed, but I mean, we also have some other things as well. Like, the flashbacks, like you had talked about the flashbacks. So the flashbacks that we have here, and I can kind of pepper these in. It's not Leon Yu, but it's actually Starling City 5 years ago. They do a great job of like making Moira's hair look different so that you could tell it's like 5 years ago, which I thought was just kind of funny.
Yeah, they do.
Also,
They do kind of young her up a little bit too. So
they kind of young up Malcolm as well, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. And then there's this like big meeting where Malcolm Merlyn comes, and we have Robert Queen. We have obviously there's a woman that I don't know who that unnamed woman is there, but then there's also Frank Chen, and basically Malcolm Merlyn comes in and pitches to his friends about, instead of rebuilding the Glades, how about we just destroy it? And he says, hey, we got a project from a few years ago that's being finished that can do it, and just how does that sound? And Robert's is not okay with this wholesale murder idea that Malcolm is implying with his plan. And he starts to, he lets Moira in on what's happening. And he even attempts to subterfuge the plan by agreeing with Frank Chen to buy out the basically 2/3 of the Glades property to make the plan worthless. Malcolm figures that out and arranges the sabotage of the Queen's Gambit when Robert takes it out to the sea with Ollie and Sarah Lance. So we have that thing going on there. That's the whole kind of like the big flashback. But the beginnings of like seeing, I guess, where Malcolm's kind of craziness happens, because we also then have during that meeting that Malcolm has with Moira, he's like, thank you so much, Moira. I couldn't have done this without you, and all this. And then that's when she comes back afterwards, firing in, saying, you lied to me, you killed him, you killed Walter, all this stuff. And then that's where it's kind of cool, like this relationship that she has with Malcolm that kind of almost stems all the way back to that 5 years before, where he comes up with this whole wacky idea to completely destroy the Glades. And Robert tells Moira this and says, he has this story about getting kind of, not like, I guess, like bullied into almost like having to pay like some kind of a kickback to a politician, and I guess there's a fight and he kills the guy. And then so he tells Moira that, like, and when he says he fell, I thought like what he was gonna say is that basically Malcolm covered it up, so he's blackmailing him to like help him work. And he's like, no, he says, I'm working with Malcolm because that's what this list is my penance. And she's like, all the things you've done for one, like you're gonna justify killing one man by killing, hundreds or thousands of other people and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of a really good conversation that she had, like a good eye-opening moment with Robert Queen, which I liked. And I mean, what did you think of that conversation between her and Robert Queen?
Yeah, it was good kind of seeing him and like who he was before. Obviously, we're pretty much the only thing we've seen of him so far is him killing himself, and maybe a little bit on the boat before all the crash and stuff happened. But yeah, I mean, it really kind of shows that he's a conflicted character deep down, and he knows he's done bad things in the past, and he really wants to right the wrongs. And he may not be going about it exactly the right way, but he definitely wants to be a better person. And that's a good thing. Obviously, he doesn't get to live to see it happen. But yeah, it's good to see kind of more of his father's character kind of fleshed out, and it kind of gets you to understand how Oliver gets to the point of where he's at, that he wants to make sure his father's mission kind of gets done. So it definitely ties their characters kind of together a little bit. But yeah, Malcolm just wants to completely wipe out thousands and thousands of people, leave them without a place to live and all that kind of stuff, and probably kill most of them in the process. So a real bastard even 5 years ago. So
well, and of course this has to do with the fact that his wife was killed in the Glades.
Yeah.
And so he's been basically seething this vengeance for decades now. I mean, it seems like, so he's just, he's gone past the point of no return in this case.
Yeah.
So now back to the show, as the Hood Oliver shows up he realizes, or with working with Felicity, that Walter is being held at this tenement in the Bloodhaven. So we get another reference to Bloodhaven. He says, and they decipher that there's 2 guards out front and 1 on top of the building. And she says, you're going to have to jump from there. And Oliver goes, I have a way to jump there. And so, which I thought was like, I was like, oh, are we going to see like a new gadget of some kind? Not really. We kind of just see him like sail in on like a like a parachute. So I'm like, okay. And he just kind of lands on the roof, and then he proceeds to beat the shit out of the first guy. And then we get the awesome sequence where Oliver breaks into the tenement, and we have a scene very reminiscent to the Daredevil hallway sequence fight from like the first season of Daredevil on Netflix, where Oliver just starts fighting people in kind of like a very close quarters, almost like hallway stairwells, that kind of thing, as he's trying to find a way to find Walter. He then enters into a room. He finds Walter. He rescues him. He's at the Walter ends up back at the hospital where he reunites with the family. Malcolm approaches him, and Oliver has to disguise his rage as Malcolm's questioning of Walter's condition, knowing that he's only trying to determine if he can be tied to the crime. Then he is approached by Laurel, who wants Oliver to tell Tommy that he doesn't have feelings for her anymore. Oliver refuses, implying it's one lie too many with all the others he has to carry. Oliver then goes to see Diggle and apologizes, telling him he was right about everything, including his mother's involvement in the undertaking. And now he needs Diggle's help to finish this. And that's kind of where we leave off. So your final thoughts on this, the fight sequence at the warehouse or the tenement building rather, and then also just the reuniting of the Queen family with Walter, and then of course Laurel finding out that Ollie is still deeply in love with her and everything. So what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I kind of hate that they kind of just left that in the wind. Obviously, I kind of wish they had paid that off somewhat somehow. Whether she was like more pissed at him in the end or something like that, or whether she was like kind of into it or whatever. But obviously, I guess we'll see that in the next couple episodes. But yeah, good to see Walter back. Definitely missed his accent this whole time. Definitely missed hearing him talk. He's got a pretty smooth British accent going on there. So, but yeah, nice to see the family reunite and all that kind of stuff. Malcolm obviously wasn't expecting Walter to be able to escape without the undertaking kind of already being done and kind of over with. So he's worried that he may be able to be tied back to the situation. So we'll see how that kind of goes in the next couple episodes as well. But yeah, Oliver, like you said, kind of refuses to, give in to Laurel. And kind of all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens with them. And then obviously Oliver and Diggle seem to somewhat make up by the end of the episode. I think they kind of leave it open-ended, but obviously Diggle let him into his apartment. So I think he's willing to hear him out for sure. So definitely another solid episode. Really, really introduces the story of the origination of the undertaking and what it was all supposed to be for and kind of where it came from and all that kind of stuff. So another really solid episode for me.
So with that being said, what would you give this as a rating out of 10?
Just based on action, I think I would go like maybe like a half star lower. I would go like 8.5 on this one, where I went 9 on the last one. So I think just based on the fact that there just wasn't as much, of a villain in this one as much as there usually is, or there was last time at least. I'd just go a tad lower, but 2 really strong episodes on this watch for sure.
It's funny that you're going a half lower because I would probably do a half as well. So you went 9, and I think I went 8.5. So you're going 8.5. I'd probably go 8. Yeah, I'm going to go a half lower than I did on this one than I did on the previous episode.
Yeah. The one fight scene that they do have was really awesome, but
yes,
obviously Mr. Blank was kind of a holistic, kind of really good villain in the last episode, so I'd give that one a bump because of that.
it's also the flashbacks. Like I like the flashbacks of me and you.
Mm.
Not that I didn't like these flashbacks, and
Yeah.
there is some trivia for
Trivia.
the flashbacks. Like one of which is that Ted Cord is mentioned in a flashback, where Moira says, "Oh, that was a really interesting fundraiser for Ted Cord." Ted Cord is the second Blue Beetle, and according to Andrew Kreisberg, Cord was intended to appear in Arrow season 3, but because DC had other plans for the character, he ended up being replaced by Ray Palmer or the Atom. So we'll have to be on the lookout for season 3 for Ray Palmer. Also, in a flashback sequence, Malcolm reveals that the Undertaking will be performed with the Markov device. This is a reference to the seismologist Brian Markov, Brian Brion Markov, who in the comics is the hero Geoforce. It says Brian Markov himself appears in the next episode, Darkness on the Edge of Town, though only as a scientist. So be on the lookout for that. And we also have, let me see. Okay, it says in the flashback from 5 years ago when Oliver brings Laurel pizza. Oh, that's something I did forget to mention, that this is there's in the flashback sequence, and I apologize for this, folks. There was a moment where Oliver goes up to talk to his dad and says, "Dad, do you already cash? The pizza guy can't break 100." And then he gets some pizza, and then as he comes in, he says pizza. He also grabs a bottle of wine, and we see Laurel is studying for the LSAT, which I believe is the test you have to take to become a lawyer, and or to get into law school, I should say. And she calls my hero, and then she mentions their friends Ray and Jean. In the comics, Ray Palmer, who was the Atom, and his girlfriend Jean Loring, who was his girlfriend, then his wife, and later his ex-wife, who eventually becomes insane. So poor Jean Loring, I guess. Jean Loring appears later in season 2. However, she's much older and only knows Oliver through being friends with his mother, Moira. And then similarly, Ray Palmer appears in season 3, but has no previous connections to Oliver. So perhaps it's not the Ray and Jean that we're thinking of, and this is just this person's idea of a stretch that they're doing whatever it is. And
yeah, I don't think all of these are necessarily like set in stone that they're correct, but it's just kind of like maybe a possible loose connection to obviously other people in this world and something like that. So it's not necessarily, these aren't necessarily like absolute 100% fact. It's just somebody went through it and kind of, obviously this has some kind of connection to this. And they just kind of established that the idea of that may happen.
I think a better trivia here is that during the flashback sequence between Oliver and Laurel, the song Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis is playing in the background. Songwriter Jesse McCartney. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. It's just funny.
Songwriter Jesse McCartney wrote that song about Katie Cassidy, obviously, who plays Laurel Lance. So
keep bleeding, keep bleeding.
Oh, you actually know that song?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I didn't know that. I don't know that song. I'm just saying it here. Yeah. So it says on the season 1 DVD, the deleted scenes for this episode include a shot of young Thea's bedroom door with a sign revealing her full name as Thea Deirdre Queen. Oh, wow. Boy. Okay.
Deirdre.
Deirdre, hardly knew her. Oh, this is cool. It says the password Felicity Smoke has to give before being allowed entry into the illegal card game is called Snapdragon. Mm-hmm. A snapdragon is a flower whose shapes resembles what, Logan?
I have no idea.
An arrow.
Oh, I should have known that.
It's like how the name of the club is called Verdant, which means green. So there we go. So that's, I'm going to say, is kind of a wrap for my trivia. Any trivia that you have?
The only other one I see is the date of Walter Steele's disappearance is December 12th, and it is a reference to the original air date of the episode where he was last seen, which was year's end. So kind of a cool little thing there. But you covered pretty much everything else.
There is.
I'm seeing.
There is one other thing. It says the specifics of the undertaking, which has been hinted at all season long, finally are revealed. And in one sequence, we can actually see a young Mark Calloway carving a casket with the symbols for Kamala on it. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
He's making the extra wide casket for Yokozuna.
Wait, for Yokozuna.
Goddamn, pal.
Goddamn, pal.
I was not prepared for that. Thank you for that.
Well, I figured I might as well throw something in there. So, with that being said, let's go to awards.
Awards. All right.
So,
who would be your
start off
MVP?
with?
MVP for tonight?
I mean, is there any doubt that the MVP is going to be Oliver Queen? I mean, he's balls awesome in these 2 episodes, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, Tommy does have the really good, awesome dad moment there for a little bit. So he definitely has a shining spot on his resume for these episodes. But yeah, Oliver, pretty far and away, is the king of these 2 episodes.
Do you want to get?
But he does kind of sell out Diggle in the first episode.
Do you want to give the MVP then to Tommy?
No, I'm still not.
He's never going to get one.
He's still too much of a bitch.
Okay.
So.
You have failed this city.
Pretty sure we're in agreement with LVP.
Yeah, Mr. Happy.
I feel like whenever Roy's in these episodes, until he starts getting cooler, we should do 2 LVPs because we know he's going to get one.
He's going to get. It's the Roy Hopper Award.
It's the Roy Hopper Award. So we'll stick with Roy for this one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't think anybody else really sucked that bad. So like,
no, because even like Moira is not bad in this, and Tommy obviously is not bad in it, and Quentin for his 1 episode that he's in, because he's not really in the second one. So he's not bad either.
Diggle is kind of a douche with the whole thing, but obviously I kind of get him being pissed as well.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give it to him, but so what do we have? We have best sequence, and then we have most important, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so your best sequence on this?
Probably the brawl with Mr. Blank in the first episode. Either that or the battle in the hallway, I would say.
I'm going to go with Mr. Blank. I thought it was the coolest.
Yeah, and the fire poker through the hat was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I have to be someone else. I have to be something else.
And then most important sequence?
Probably just learning of what the Undertaking is, kind of where it came from, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of learning where, Malcolm's psyche kind of was at the time, and where his original idea for all this kind of came from. So probably that, if I had to guess. I mean, it like what Yao Fei says to Oliver at the end of the first episode seems like it could be something pretty important, with saying this is the end of your time on the island or whatever. But learning of the Undertaking and kind of what it is, what it's all about is definitely, I think, the most important.
I would agree. I would actually say that even the entirety of the flashback sequences for that second episode, because it gives the outline of the Undertaking, and also like the original hesitation for Robert Queen, which kind of leads up to the whole point of the whole show. Like, he leaves to go on the Queen's Gambit, and the Queen's Gambit's being sabotaged. So I would agree that the most important, I'm going to give it to that whole flashback sequence for the second episode rather. So we'll go with that. So
for sure.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to do it for that episode and this episode. So Logan, would you like to plug anything?
Just check out everything here on the Backbone Wrestling Network. We have something pretty much every day, like across all kinds of eras, all kinds of promotions, all that kind of stuff. So, and we obviously have some entertainment stuff. We have your cooking show. We have the movie pod that we do. So yeah, I mean, you can pretty much get a little bit of anything and everything that you could possibly want on this feed. So continue to check us out. And like I said, we have something pretty much dropping every day. So there will always be something for somebody to listen to.
Cool. Yeah, and then you can also hear me on GFA Live with Petey Winson. And of course, check us out on the Twitter. I am at Floundery24. Also on the Blue Sky at Floundery24. You're on the Twitter
at Highway Backbone.
Highway Backbone. And then we also have a Backbone Twitter as well. And
it is the Backbone 24, I believe.
Yeah. So please give us a comment, and or if you're on Apple Podcasts or on Podbean or whatever, give us a comment. We like to hear comments. If you leave a comment for us on our YouTube channel or on our Podbean or on Apple Podcast, I'll actually give us a shout out. So just say like, hey, Arrowpod, you guys suck balls. And I'll be like, sure. And then I'll put a, I'll super sure. I'll give you a shout out. So, but that's what we like. We like as Petey Winson always says, we like what is known as social proof that you're listening to and enjoying what we're doing here. So please do so. And thank you for checking us out. And we'll see you. Oh, and excuse me. I hope that we did not fail this pod.
There you go.